you, Jason David Frank.
And Mr. Saban.
And thank you for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing.
And don't forget to ring the bell so you get notified when we upload new content.
That's Tom.
And that's Chris. Decca. What do we got on deck for today?
Today on PRNT, we break down and analyze morphers from the Power Rangers universe.
All right, grab your morphers, because we're going to talk about them. So stay tuned.
It's PRNT time.
After 10,000 years, I'm free! It's time to watch PRNT!
Welcome, Rangers.
This episode of
PRNT,
your source for all things Power Rangers. As we heard in the opener, today's episode focuses on morphers of all shapes and sizes.
We categorized, we analyzed, and now we are going to give our thoughts about the different morphers in the Power Rangers universe.
More specifically, we are going to talk about the functionality of each of our categories, and we're probably even going to talk about some of our favorites along the way.
We will start off by saying that we included all types of morphers, including ones that are unique to a specific team.
Right. An example of this is we included the Gold Zeo staff morpher in a different category than that of the Zeonizers. Okay, so we're looking at the functionality. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So let's tell you our main categories that we used for our morpher classifications.
There are, in fact, 3.
We, of course, have the 2 main categories that we see most often in the show.
Those, of course, being wrist morphers and cell phone morphers.
And our last category, we simply named Other, because of the uniqueness of the morphers that aren't wrist or cell phone morphers.
So to begin our analysis, let's just start with wrist morphers.
Yeah. That's probably the most common morpher in the Power Rangers universe.
Which kind of surprises me. I thought for sure that I've seen way more cell phone morphers than I have wrist ones.
Well, that's probably because we have not seen a wrist morpher since the days of Dino Thunder.
Really?
Yeah, it's true, yeah.
I guess that makes sense. With increasing technology and increased cell phone use, I guess the creators of the show wanted to be hip and with it, so they started focusing on cell phone morphers then. So
does that mean that wrist morphers are out of the game?
I hope not. I really like the wrist morphers, and when push comes to shove, I really think the wrist morphers are the way to go.
Oh, definitely. Me too. They do have a few advantages over the other types.
Like what? Let's talk about it.
They're very accessible.
True.
Unlike other morphers, you don't have to dig through your pockets or your bag to find it.
Also true. They're just right there.
Right. And in seasons like Mighty Morphin, we saw a few times where morphers were missing, and it caused a few issues.
Right. As much as I like the wrist morphers, though, I do have a problem with them, though.
What?
Yeah, I know. The wrist morphers are a bit bulky on some of the seasons, and as far as me, my personal preference, I don't like having stuff on my wrists all the time, which is why I can never really wear watches.
Tom, sidebar. You just said wrist morphers were the way to go.
I know, but didn't you see my little asterisk on that statement?
I don't read the script.
Well, you should, because if you did, you would know that asterisk says that if a team is going to have a wrist morpher, I think that they should do it like the Dino Thunder team. So yes, I think wrist morphers are the way to go if they do it like the Dino Thunder team. Do you know what I'm saying?
Let's tell them that.
Okay. So, Chris is right. I did say that I like wrist morphers, but I also did say that I have a thing against wrist morphers. But let me clear it up. I think wrist morphers are the way to go if they do it right. And by doing it right, I want to look at the Dino Thunder team. Yeah, I think they did wrist morphers right.
Which is what exactly?
Well, if you remember, when the morphers of the Dino Thunder team were not in use, they were disguised as those cool looking bracelets with the dino gems and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, and when the team needed them, they could just summon the morphers,
right,
at will.
Yeah, exactly. No big, bulky device strapped to your wrist all the time. Plus, the bracelets looked really cool. I actually wouldn't mind having one myself, actually. Black Dino Gem.
And if I remember, the Dino Morphers weren't the only ones that did something similar.
Right. The Zeonizers and the Turbomorphers also could be summoned, so they weren't always on the wrist the whole time. But again, I have an issue with those.
Tom.
What?
Come on, dude.
Let me explain.
Fine.
Okay. My problem with the Zeonizers and the Turbomorphers is that when they're not in use, we don't really know where they are. Of course, we can assume that they could be in the command center.
Or the morphers are somehow stored within the morphing grid itself and are able to materialize when called upon.
Either way, my issue with the Zeo and the Turbomorphers is that that Ranger team doesn't have the same comfort and confidence that the Dino Thunder team did.
So you mean like they didn't have the comfort knowing that their morphers were always right there, like the Dino Thunder team did?
Right. I know if I had a morpher, I would want some concrete proof that it was always there. You're trying to save the world, and you need that. And if you can't look down and see it, or at least see it in disguise, it would kind of make me even more nervous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I guess that is a good point. The Zeo and the Turbo Rangers just had to assume that their morphers would appear, when they did the whole wrist turn thing.
Right, yeah, right. And I would like to be able to see it all the time. And as far as the other wrist morphers, they were always there from seasons like Time Force or Lost Galaxy. They were just always hanging out there, and it would drive me crazy just to have that giant thing on my wrist. So thank you to the creators of Dino Thunder for doing the wrist morphers right. Yeah.
Well, let's move on now to our next category, the cell phone morphers.
The first cell phone morpher we saw was used by Zane and in space. Yeah.
And the first team to all have cell phone morphers was the Wild Force team.
Right. So I gotta ask, how do you feel about the cell phone morphers?
I don't mind them. I think it's a great way to disguise the morphers, so the Rangers aren't always getting questions about the thing on their wrist.
Right, yeah, that's a good point. Mm-hmm.
But again, we said the risk of having something not on you all the time, it could get lost or it could get stolen if you're not watching it.
True, but when we talk about communication-wise, I think the cell phone morphers are way more practical.
And I'm sure they did get a lot less weird looks when communicating through a cell phone versus talking to your wrist.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I guess cell phone morphers aren't too bad. I did like how the Operation Overdrive Rangers, they had to drag it down their arm to get their suit to come on, and I think that was pretty cool. Yeah.
And the Samurai cell phone morphers, they were really functional. Serving not only as their morphers and communicators, but also as their drawing tools for their symbol powers.
Yeah, kind of a dual functionality there. So I guess that cell phone morphers do have their own special place in the Power Rangers universe.
And with that, we go to our final category, the other morphers.
Those special morphers that are neither worn on the wrist or look like a cell phone, of course.
The most famous of these, being the original Mighty Morphin Power Ranger morpher, used by the Mighty Morphin team.
Yeah, right. Yeah, very cool looking, but let's be honest, not all that practical.
Yeah, they were big and bulky and kind of odd looking.
The Rangers couldn't hide them very well. I think they had on the back of their belt clips or on the back side of their belts, which would make sitting weird. And plus they could become lost, and they weren't communicators at all. So,
but yeah, come on. How cool is this?
Oh.
It's morphin' time!
Okay.
Yeah.
I will give you that one. Excellent point. Very cool. Yeah. Very cool looking.
Other morphers in our other category include the golden staff for the Gold Ranger in Zeo, as well as the samurai amulet from Ninja Storm.
Used by Cam, right?
Yes.
We also have the solar cell morpher.
Say that three times fast.
Used by the Solaris Knight, which is where I was going. Yes, the solar cell morpher, used by the Daggeron, and the snow staff used by Udana in Mystic Force. Right.
Of course, there's the giant glove-like morpher used by Dominic in Jungle Fury.
Right, and then of course we have the solar morphers used by the Jungle Fury team.
Stupid.
Oh, come on. You don't like the sunglass morphers? I like the sunglasses.
Okay, so here's my deal. They're sunglasses.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
You set them down, someone else sets down a pair of sunglasses. You're not gonna be able to tell. So there are a lot of blue sunglasses out there. I've seen the Blue Rangers sunglass morphers, and I thought to myself, you could easily get those for a cosplay. You know, there's so many issues with having sunglasses as morphers. Not to mention that the concept is kind of lame.
Yeah. It's morphin' time. Oh, wait, let me put on my sunglasses. Oh, my eye!
Yeah,
Type of thing. Yeah.
There's so much faulty with sunglasses as morphers, and I will stop ranting about it now.
Yeah, you're right. They are kind of funky, but I've owned many pairs of sunglasses over the years, and I never had a problem losing mine so much. Well, I say I had many, so yeah. But those were mostly because they became scratched. But I think the solar morphers would be protected by like the morphing grid or something. So yeah, they are funky, but you do bring up some good points. Yeah.
You know, looking over our list,
Okay.
There is another category that we probably could have included.
Which is what? Mm-hmm.
Weaponized morphers. You know, like the morphers we see in Dino Charge, Ninja Steel, and other seasons where not only could they morph with them, but they could slash or shoot.
So morphers that doubled as weapons.
Exactly. Like I was saying, in Dino Charge, they were also blasters. In Ninja Steel, their morphers could be used as a bow, a blade, or even a claw.
Why is claw always a weapon? It's weird. Yeah,
We're talking about morphers right now, not claws.
Okay. Sorry.
Why do you keep derailing?
I don't know. I'm sorry. Right.
Let's save that for another episode.
Okay, fine. Whatever.
Anyway, I like the weaponized morphers because, you know, they're functional, serving two purposes with both morpher and weapon. And it really looks cool. I think it just helps you to be more familiar with your arsenal.
Yeah, I guess, but I think you would look weird carrying around this toy-looking blaster all the time. Like, hey, what's that? Yeah.
Or you could look totally awesome.
Tomato, I guess. I know that I'm a more subtle guy, and I wouldn't want to draw attention to myself by carrying around this plastic-looking blaster all the time in case I needed it.
So boring.
I'm sorry. It's just the way it is. Yeah. Anyways, anything else you want to add about morphers?
No, I think that's a wrap.
Okay. So if you agree or disagree with us, think maybe we missed a category, or maybe, you like a different style morpher than we do. Anything that you may be thinking about this episode, be sure to either A, leave a comment below, B, message us on any of our social media, or C, write down your comments and remember them, because
Tonight, 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we are going live to talk about this episode.
That's right. So, again, we want to have a very conversation style type thing going on here. We can talk about morphers, or we may even talk about something completely different. But
last week was very fun, and we want to try to have that happen again tonight.
Right, yeah. So be sure to tune in tonight at 6 p.m. for our after show, is what I'm calling it.
Yes.
You were calling it something else.
The show after the show.
After the show. Yeah, great. Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for liking, commenting, sharing, and subscribing.
And of course, do not forget to ring the bell so you're notified when we upload new content. And remember, as we sign off, our hope is that the power will always protect you.
Let's power down.
Hey Rangers, thanks for checking out this episode.
If you want to see more, be sure to click the link to the left to see our most popular video.
Check out the link on the right to see our most recent upload.
And aim for that button in the center to subscribe if you haven't already.
And if you still want more, be sure to check out our social media pages where we post all sorts of things to be your source for all things Power Rangers.